Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder. And today, we are going to be continuing off of the video we did yesterday at around 18-19 UTC, where we take a look at the number 2 strongest KVK group that is going into the most recent season of KVK for Season of Strife. That is going to be comprised of 84, 30, 41, and 60, and we're going to give you the T5 breakdown, just like we did for TFS, Noir, BXS, and EIS yesterday. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you throw us up, because it helps out a lot. So, we are looking at the group matchup for the power that we did. You could see they're coming in a little over 89 billion power. Again, that's second strongest. After today's video, we will be doing the third strongest group, which is 29, 57, 85, and 229. Maybe we'll do 4 and 5, but at least my plan right now is just for the top 3. Okay. Let's now move over to showing you guys some of the data, and then we're going to come back and show you some of the map positions too as well, which I totally forgot to do, at least for starting positions for the TFS Noir BXS EIS group. So as long as I remember, we'll touch on that a little bit later. Okay, so as usual, I'm just going to kind of go through some of these pretty quick so we can show you how many total T5 players there are in this group. And then we're going to show you 3 matchups here, that one for what most likely is the matchup that it's going to end up being, but then 2 alternative matchups that it could be. And then, of course, would love to hear what you guys think on that. So we have 875 players. If we scroll up, we're going to, what is it, 875, right? 875. So we'll do 875 minus 7. So we're at 868 is the total number of T5. So that's about 300, I think about almost 300 less than the number 1 KVK group. Okay, let's go to the top. So this is going to be the matchup as we know it right now, which is Echo, Tank versus BDO, ACDC. Now you can see all the alliances here. So we have Kingdoms again, 30, 41, 60, 84. We have Tank, NA, TK, BDO2, BDO, Echo, ECH1, or EC1, AC, DC, and A-F. Okay, going left to right, well, here's power for just fighting power. Again, as a reminder, this is where I go through and I pull all the data going into each of the kingdoms, into each of the alliances, going on the member list, and as I'm scrolling through all the players, we're rounding up to the nearest millionth, in where we have, again, you could see for the last number, which is millionth. Yeah. Okay. So here we have for fighting power. So this is just for players that are over 50 million plus. And then, which again is why you're not seeing any additional numbers, not only because of the rounding, but just to make it a little bit easier overall for me. So we have 50 mil, 60 mil, 80, 100, 125, 150. So working our way left to right, we have at the 50 mil plus, almost 2.5, but at least double here in favor of the BDO AC group. Then we get to 60 million. Now it's getting a little bit closer, 139 to 155, but still in favor of the BDO AC group. Then we get to 80 million plus, now getting closer, still in favor, however, of the AC BDO group, 114 to 125. Then we get to 100 mil plus, now getting even closer, and we have 60 to 65. Still in favor of the BDO AC group. And then finally, tides are turning at 125 mil plus, where we have a little more than double, now in favor of the Tank Echo group. Then we get to 150 million plus, and now almost double, a little bit less than that, but still in favor of the Tank Echo group for 150 mil plus. When we look at total number of T5s, we have 395 T5s between Echo and Tank group. On the BDO AC group, it's 480. So there is a plus 85 going in favor of the BDO AC group. When we look at powers, it's 35.04 billion to 38.728 billion. So we have a 3.688 billion differential that is in favor of the BDO AC group. When it comes to 100 mil plus, we have 95 to 84. So there's a plus 11 advantage going in favor of Echo and Tank. Now, typically when I look at the data, I usually, if the numbers are not exactly the same, the next form of balance I like to look at is where if one side has a little bit more power and a little bit more T5s, then the other side should have a little bit more 100 mil plus. That way, to me, it feels like it is a little closer to evening out, even if the numbers are not exactly the same or closer to being near balance. So for this, again, I don't really see anything inherently wrong with this matchup. It doesn't scream as though it's incredibly egregious to me, right? But obviously, we're not number for number. At the same time, I also think we should have realistic expectations that we're probably never going to be number for number. It's probably never going to be 35.07 billion to 35.07 billion, same number of T5s and same number of 100 mil pluses. But I do like to believe that what I mentioned as like the second way is probably what we're really going to more so gauge off how balanced a group is versus, or how balanced a group is versus another group in that KVK. So let's get to the second possible matchup, right, as an alternative. So what if Echo matched up with BDO and Tank matched up with AC? This is how it would look. So we'd have 119 to 45 in favor of Tank AC. We'd have 180 at 60 mil plus to 114, still in favor of Tank AC. At 80 mil plus, we'd have 141 to 98, so now switching and going in favor of BDO Echo. If we do 100 mil plus, now it's 76 to 49 in favor of BDO Echo. If we go 125 mil plus, it's more than double, where you have BDO Echo in favor. And then if we go 150 mil plus, it's still double and in favor of BDO Echo. So now the number would be 412 T5s to 463 T5s at 50 mil plus. We'd be looking at 37.965 billion versus 35.803 billion. We'd have a plus 51 advantage for T5s in favor of Tank AC. We'd have a 2.162 billion advantage in favor of Echo BDO. On top of which, there's a 47 plus differential in the amount of 100 mil plus accounts that's in favor of Echo BDO. So for me, I don't know. Do I like the fact that this is a little bit more closer as far as total power? I do. But when I still look at the differential of power between the fact that they're stronger and they have more 100 mil pluses, that worries me just a little bit. Like, I like the fact that total T5s and total power is more on one side, but then the other side hits the third metric of more 100 mil pluses. Like, that's what we have here. So I still like the current matchup versus this alternative, in my opinion. However, I'd love to hear what you guys think. Now let's go to the third matchup. Third matchup would be if Echo AC paired up and BDO Tank paired up. So in this match, we have AC Echo leading 95 to 69. For 60 mil plus, we have a tie, actually, shockingly, at 147 apiece. At 80 mil plus, it's 126 to 113, so still pretty close, but AC Echo leading. Then we get a reverse, 100 mil plus. It's now BDO Tank leading, 74 to 51. AC Echo, again, falling short by 5 here, so BDO Tank leading by plus 5 at 12 for 125 mil plus. Then at 150 mil plus, BDO Tank leading 22 to 14, almost double. When we look at total T5 breakdowns for this potential matchup, it'd be 438 T5s to... Oh, God. Did I do that right? Hang on, let's do some quick math real quick so I can make sure if my math is mathing. 60 plus 25. So 438. Okay, that's right. So maybe it was just a plus number I got wrong. Let's see. 59, 126. Oopsies. Let's do it this way. 168, 59, 126. We'll do 63, 21. No, that's right. Okay. So we'll say 1. Cool. I just ended up getting that wrong somehow. All right, look at that. So there's only a 1 differential. It's 437 to 438 for total. As far as total T5s. But again, there's still being a power differential of 3.688, where we have 35.597 billion to 38.171 billion. And again, it just means that not all the T5's powers are equal, of course. And then when we look at the... Oh, I'm sorry. I did have that right. So it's this one that's wrong. This is 1, and this... What did I say? Did I say I had that at 37? Can I count correctly? Yes. So that's at 37. Okay, we're good. We're back. So at 100 mil plus, it's 71 to 108 in favor of BDO Tank. So that's where we're getting the plus 37 here. So this group has the closest T5. It has the closest 100 mil plus at 37. We had 147. Oh, I'm sorry, and this is 11. So second, I should say second most in that case. But you have one T5 differential here. This one's 51 and this one's 85, right? So we have +1 T5 on Echo AC, lower power, and lower 100 mil pluses. So this is probably, right, you would think 37 isn't bad, the 1 T5 isn't bad, but when you look at the power differential and the 100 mil pluses, it tells a little bit of a different story, right? So for me, I would probably say that might be third. This might be third most for me. This is probably the second. And I still feel at the moment that the matchup they decided to go with is the most balanced out of the three options that we have. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this matchup plays out going into their group. And again, I think for me, similarly to what I talked about in the TFS Noir BDO or BXS EIS group, is that, right, you only have so many options you can go with. And we showed off 4 options in that one. And I think it's really just about going with the best option available. You may not always get the best matchup, as far as the best matchup in terms of being able to balance out the power as close or as great as you'd like to, right? Unless you do, right, because again, you can't have alliances going from one kingdom to another. You can have an alliance that fights its own alliance or another alliance within the kingdom, but it's not the same as you moving regions and joining up with other groups. So really, for all intents and purposes, if you're going to have 4 kingdoms in, you can either do a 1v3, a 1v2, you can do a 1 versus 1, 2v2, like that's really it, right? You don't have a lot of combinations you can go with. So for me, and I would love to hear what you guys think. Do you also like the fact that the matchup they have is the most balanced matchup, or do you like a different matchup? On top of which, my additional question for you is, do you value, because this is how I view it, I weigh and I value balanced matchups above everything else, because a balanced matchup to me is not just about what the kingdom's diplomacy and the kingdom's leadership is trying to achieve, but it's really bigger than that. It's looking at the bigger picture, which is about all of the players that are going to be participating in the KVK, and you realizing that you have a level of accountability and responsibility to them as stewards for how you are in care of those people. You should be aiming to create a KVK situation where it is going to elicit the most amount of participation and balanced play, as close as you can get it. So that way, the most amount of people will opt and hopefully choose to engage and participate in fighting because of the efforts that you've made to look at the bigger picture, which is about everyone and not just necessarily how individual or personal feelings are. And this is something that I know has been a topic on the Discord. I'll briefly touch on it when it pertains to the Noir, the TFS, the EIS, the BXS situation, is that, and I'll amplify this to a lot more as well, you're going to have KVKs where you may get matched with people that you don't like or you've had bad experiences with. And my view is simple, which is, let me add on as an asterisk here. You should still always be trying to aim for the most balanced and most well-rounded fighting tiers or groups that are going to be in that KVK. The only exceptions I really have for this are the egregious ones. Like, you were obviously betrayed if it was a clear one. Maybe you were lied to. Maybe people backstabbed. Like, it has to be something that's really bad. And, you have the proof, or this thing happened. And that I can understand something where it's like, oh yeah, they said we were going to ally. We went into this fight. They were nowhere to be seen. They turned on us. And what we thought was going to be a 2v2 turned into a 1v3. Right? Like, it's got to be something at that level to where it's, okay, this kingdom and this management team just isn't to be trusted. Like, there's just a clear line in the sand there that people know it. Like, bam, here's all the screens to kind of show that happening, or people have covered it in the past. To me, it's got to be like that. It has to be at that level in order for you to say, okay, this is why we'll never work with them again. But if it's just a matter of having different points of view or disagreements here and there on how to approach certain things, right, but these people still show up and they fight, I'd love to hear what you guys think. My view simply is just that, to me, should not outweigh the well-being and the hopeful experience, good experience, that you would want to give every single player in that kingdom. Like I said, I do believe there are some exceptions, but that we should always be going in with that bigger picture mindset. So you guys let me know what you guys think in the comments below. That is going to do it for me. Tomorrow, around the same time, we will be having that next group. Oh, sorry, I forgot to show you guys the map positions. Let me do that. So this is the map positions for this group, where we have, oh gosh, I have to remember now. So 60 is Echo, and let me not forget this, right? So 60, where am I? 60, Echo, they're Darlin, 40, let's do it this way, because then I'll actually be able to see who the people are. Okay, so we have 60 Echo, 41 BD, 30 NA, 84 AC. $10 is my short-term memory loss. Is not going to remember this in about 5 seconds. So 41 BDO, 30 NA, 84 AC. 41 BDO, 30 NA, 84 AC? DC? Did I get that right? I did. I'm so shocked. I remembered. I was really trying hard. Yeah. So in short, we have the, gosh, where was it? So we have Echo, oh gosh, where was my matchup thing that I was just doing, right? So Echo Tank, BDO AC. So for Echo Tank, we have 60 and where were they? 30. So 60 and 30. So we got 60 here, 30 here. That's the matchup going across. Then paired, and then 41 and 84, right? So basically they're going crisscross applesauce. If you get my drift. Okay, this has been fun. Until the next one, I will catch you guys later.